Former ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule has unveiled his new political party in Soweto. Addressing the media earlier, Magashule says South Africans need an alternative political home. He says the African Congress for Transformation will be represented in all provinces and has vowed to contest the 2024 national elections. Magashule also says that his party is for all the people of South Africa and will be a ship for the hopeless and the betrayed. He says for now, the party is being led by an interim leadership and will have its Congress in October.
It's a pleasure to announce this new party, African Congress for Transformation. We have informed our friends across Africa because we are about African nationalism. We are about Pan-Africanism. We have informed them, the likes of SWAPO, ZANU-PF, all the liberation movements. We have informed those countries belonging to BRICS, and we have written to various embassies. And all people and all, we are going to call, in fact, we have been invited by ANC comrades in the next 3 weeks, I think by the end of September. The ANC comrades have called us to a cadres assembly, which will be in the Val in 3 weeks' time. The date has been determined. I can't just remember the date. The cadres of the ANC have invited all of us, and we said we'll come and hear what they want from us. We hope they will actually all join this movement. We never encouraged anyone to bend the ANC t-shirts. We don't know what to do with the ANC t-shirts, but I've never banned my t-shirts. Maybe I can donate them. I don't know to who, because this party wants to act against crime, unemployment, poverty, retrenchment, privatization, water shedding, load shedding, hunger, famine, femicide, act against gender and women abuse, against discrimination, and all forms of human abuse. Our slogan is hashtag Amadela Kufa. Madela Kufa during the struggle are people when they were arrested, those comrades of Mkondo were seized. They never sold out. They died with information. We have been tortured. Those who don't know torture and apartheid, they are leaders today and maybe they know better.
Right now, let's get analysis. We are now joined by political analyst and writer, Dr. Ebrahim Harvey. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Harvey. Well, a new political formation in less than a year. I mean, Magashule saying there in that clip that South Africans need an alternative political home. I think a lot of people would agree with him, just given the political crisis or the political climate that we are currently experiencing in South Africa. But the question is his party that home that he is talking about that people need? And is he the right leader? Just give us your thoughts.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. You know, I listened to this press conference that Ace Magashule held, and really there are many questions to be asked, you know, about what had happened there. The first thing you need to realize is that Ace Magashule should never have been in this situation in the first place. He completely messed up what had happened to him in the ANC. The ANC was right in terms of its step-aside rules to suspend him. You know, they gave him a chance also to appeal against the suspension and give reasons why, you know, his suspension was not in order. He refused to. So it appears that behind the scenes, that Ace Magashule, he's got very little grounds to stand on. And what surprises me, he was General Secretary of the ANC. He knows the procedures and the processes in the ANC, especially with suspension and so on. He messed it up, and maybe he messed it up because in his mind, he had an intention, you know, very bitter after what had happened to him, to form this party. But I must tell you, you know what impression I was left with? Was that this whole notion of radical economic transformation has been used and abused by people in the ANC, knowing that we're sitting with the biggest crisis in this country from 1994, and that the black working class majority has been left, empty-handed after this almost 30 years of democracy. So to appeal to this rank and file, increasingly tendencies in the ANC have spoken this language of radical economic transformation to attract the attention and the support of a very disenchanted electorate and support base of the ANC. But I'll tell you what surprised me. That Ace Magashule didn't go the way of Jimmy Manmani to join the EFF or to join Karl Neau's ARITA, African Radical Economic Transformation Alliance. I have a News 24 column, and I suspected that he would go either to the EFF or ARITA. He never went to either. So it seems, Ace Magashule has got a strong sense of himself. It's just 8 months before the elections. There's a lot of money that's required to get into the elections. I don't know, whether this was a wise move. There are many reasons that makes me question the wisdom of forming this party. I think he was better off. Let me tell you who dominates the scene. If you talk of radical economic transformation, there's nobody to beat the EFF. That is probably why Jimmy Mani went there. All the other outfits, have come to nothing. I don't believe that this formation is going to make a big difference. And certainly if they're going to participate in the 2024 elections, that they're going to make any formidable impact at all. In fact, I doubt even that, it's a very expensive thing to participate in the elections. Whether they're going to be able to mount the required resources to participate in the elections and get things organized on the ground and campaign in the space of 8 months. I mean, it's a tall order, really. But I don't think much is going to come out of this initiative of Ace Magashule.
Just talking about, far leftist political formation that he hopes this will be. It also looks like he's leaning a lot on, just capturing former or disgruntled ANC members, maybe even the PAC. I mean, he's talking about being invited to a cadres assembly in the vowed cadres of the ANC. So pretty much hoping that he will attract, those other, people within the party itself, and maybe even other opposition parties.
No doubt. But besides opposition parties or trying to attract support outside of this formation, no doubt, Ace Magashule still has links in the ANC. You can see increasingly he refers to the ANC, and he wants this formation, this new party, to act as a rallying force around which disgruntled members of the ANC that's existing now moves towards as another pole of attraction as against the traditional mainstream ANC. But I'll tell you, we're sitting with a very, very difficult situation in this country at this moment. The economic social crisis is of such a magnitude that I think it's a very risky thing, The ANC is certainly in big trouble. And probably that's why he thought, let him launch this thing now and they might make a big difference in the election. I doubt it's going to happen. I'll tell you what worries me. Who is he referring to? Ace Magashule, when he talks about cadres of the ANC as if it is some formation or structure in the ANC, I can tell you now, if you speak to the ANC, they'll probably laugh at it. I don't know. I suspect that these are things that Ace Magashule is just whipping up to create a semblance of support and sympathy for his formation, for this new party within the ANC, that he will, rally behind and serve as a source of increasing organization and mobilization for this new party of his. I doubt that it exists in reality, really.
Just talking about the saturated space, in terms of political parties that we've seen in the past couple of months and a few months going into the 2024 elections. Rise Mzansi, Shaluba, Africa Unite Congress. Those are just some of the political parties and movements, that have been launched recently. How many alternatives do you think this country needs?
No, we don't need any more alternatives, let me tell you. And increasingly, you can see ARITA too. Now, you have to ask yourself, why is all these new formations coining this terminology of radical economic transformation? You know why? because it tells you that the overwhelming majority of people in this country, the black working class, have been left empty-handed. Those people are disillusioned with the ANC, and so the new offshoots from the ANC has tried to appropriate what in fact was supposed to be the original thing of the ANC. You can see it's even as Congress resolutions, policy resolutions to the effect of, the radical economic transformation. They were going to nationalize the Reserve Bank. A whole lot of things were going. It never happened. And I think these offshoots, an attempt to now move that agenda, which the ANC has compromised on, since 2017. You'll remember at Nasrec, this is where a number of the economic policy resolutions of radical were taken. 5 years later, nothing has happened. The South African Reserve Bank has not been nationalized, and many other things have not happened. And I think this is a belated attempt by S. Magashule and others. I think really he would have been better off if he threw in his lot with Jimmy Mani and the EFF. Or you can see nothing is becoming of Karl Neau's Arita formation. And I really think that... Yeah.
And apologies, Dr. Harvey, as we wrap the conversation, I was just going to ask about the ANC's response. I mean, officially they haven't responded, but of course we saw the Secretary General going on Twitter and making his, comments, particularly on who is forming the interim leadership, including Glameza.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you, I don't think the ANC is going to take this new formation of S. Magashule very seriously. I don't think so. I think the ANC is more concerned about what's going to happen with the EFF next year, and maybe an alliance that is struck between the EFF. I don't think this formation and what has happened today, as dramatic as S. Magashule has attempted to make this this press conference, is going to really be some worrying signal to the ANC. I doubt it very much. And I really don't think much is going to come out of this, despite all the bluster, all the rhetoric, and all the radical talk of S. Magashule at this launch, at this press conference, rather.
Dr. Harvey, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Dr. Ebrahim Harvey is a political analyst and, of course, a writer, just commenting there on the new political party that has been launched by the former ANC Secretary General S. Magashule. And the party, of course, was launched in Soweto today.